So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So let's continue our long journey and our long series of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And in this particular video, let's try to understand Saturn placement in the 8th house of D-9 chart and what are going to be the results that are particularly associated with this placement. Now, before actually diving into the results which are connected with this Saturn in the 8th house, first of all, let's try to open this 8th house of the D9 chart. Now, 8th house of the D9 chart represents any sort of major transformations that are actually happening into your life after getting married or after getting into one-on-one relationship with some other person. 8th house also represents the major setbacks into your life because it is a negative house. So the major setback, I'm not talking about minor here, the major setbacks in your life is also going to be seen through that 8th house. Even if you want to study the impact of that setback, like whether you have the capability to handle that major setback into the positive manner or in the negative manner, that is also seen through the planet which is sitting up there. Even the Antardasha of the planet sitting in this 8th house, this is also the time frame where you can be actually confirming the major transformations and the major setbacks that might going to be taking place. And you can also connect this graha, this planet, with that event also. Something related to that planet is going to be taking up there. Apart from this thing, 8th house also represents the joint assets between you and your partner. Whether you are going to create it or not, or whether your joint assets are going to be flourishing over the passage of time or not, is actually determined using this house. This is also a negative house which actually shows the breakages of joint assets. Like suppose after getting divorced, what is happening? You need to pay some alimony, or there is going to be then separation of assets is also happening. So that part is also going to be clearly visible from this house. Any sort of negative affliction in this 8th house represents these kind of situations at the same time. It need to have more than 2 malefic association. And here 8th house lord is also going to be playing a very important role. So this is the house which also represents loss of something. It's not necessarily the financial losses, it may be the loss of energy. Like you are anticipating or you are putting a lot of energy up there and other people is not understanding that level of energy. Apart from this thing, 8th house in the longer passage or in the longer durations of the time also represents how your marriage complications are going to be unfolding in front of you. By mean to say marriage complications, now it's not only connected between the husband and the wife. It's first of all connected with the families also, both families, the girl side and the boy side family. So how the complications are actually going to be evolving from that particular area. Then you can later check the complications which are going to be coming through the children into your life. So 8th house represents that sort of transformation, like how the person is actually going to be becoming after marriage, or what is the karma, what is the drid karma which is actually connected with this thana. You can easily see that part from here. Apart from this thing, 8th house represents many other things, but I will not be able to go much into the negative side because this represents many negative events at the same time, which I'm actually using the word major setback. Okay, so major setback is that negative impact and the impact that also have the capacity to reshape your personality. Now, when I'm actually discussing over the reshaping of a personality, so usually the reshaping of a personality is going to be happening by 2 main forces. First is your own belief system. Okay, the belief system which you are going to be inheriting because of the family, you are meeting someone, so that have the capacity to reshape your belief system over the passage of time. And second is the spiritual belief system, which the person is going to be inheriting by doing some sort of a spiritual sadhanas. So no matter which planet is sitting in your 8th house, no matter whatever the negative results which are actually connected with this graha, you simply need to do the mantra sadhana or the chanting of the mantra specifically connected with the planet sitting up there. This actually have the capacity to reduce the negative intensity which is associated with this negative graha. Now when it comes to Shani or Saturn, whenever it actually coming into the 8th house, what is going to be happening? This Saturn will definitely going to give you some major setback. And this setback which you are receiving because of this graha, it's actually going to be leaving a very prolonged impact. Like it's not a setback which you are receiving right now and within 1, 2, 3 years, you're totally forgetting. It's like that sort of a realm where you are receiving something and then you will not be able to forget that part for complete rest of your life. So you can also consider it as the unforgettable kind of a memories that Saturn actually have the capacity to give into your life. Depending over the Saturn connection with the D-9 chart, like which houses are controlled by Saturn, you can also study whether these are coming from family, initial childhood days, some traumatic experiences because of the children, parents, gurus, your social circle. So you can easily study and identify that part. Apart from this thing, Saturn is also going to be becoming very serious actually when it's in this 8th house. And this is not that kind of a planet which will look for the casual orientedness, or it's not the planet which is looking for certain casual relationships. So the seriousness factor is going to be very, very high inside the Shani. Or you can also call it as a very devoted graha. Like when it comes to the marriage part, so they have the capacity to fully devote themselves. So you can also see the devotion of the Shani in the 8th house. Apart from this thing, when it comes to the joint asset creation, Saturn in the initial stages is going to hesitate. And this hesitation of the Saturn may be coming because of certain personal experiences or maybe certain past experiences. But although I will tell you, if you are having Shani in the 8th house, and even if you try to create the joint assets with your spouse or life partner, try to create more and more liquid assets in this case. There is no need for you to create or go for the like fixed assets like real estate. That part is not going to be advisable with malefic graha. Because understand one very important thing here, depending over the zodiac sign placement, like in which planet or like in whichever zodiac sign this Shani graha is actually posited, this will eventually help us to give us more clear indication upon which areas or in what particular areas that investment is going to be working for both of you. Apart from this thing, from the D-9 chart, this 7th house is actually becoming the 1st house of your partner. So it's actually then you can count 2 places away. So this also represents the saving aspect, wealth aspect and the family aspect of your future spouse or life partner, or maybe your husband and wife. So depending over the strength and dignity of this Shani graha. Now strength and dignity of a planet is determined using the zodiac sign placement. Depending over the strength and dignity of this graha, this actually have the capacity to create the results. Saturn specifically, if it is going in the Mercury zodiac sign, then this have the capacity, even Venus in zodiac signs like Taurus, Libra, this have the capacity to produce a very great and wealthy in-laws. But even I will tell you, if the Saturn is going to be going in towards some negative zodiac sign, this still is going to be upholding the dignity. So you will see 100% dignified person if he or she is having Saturn into the 8th house. Apart from this thing, this is also a karka or the significator of a career. So this Saturn is actually going to be advantageous for both of you, like for you as well as your partner as well, because Saturn, whenever it's actually holding the connections with the 8th house, and it's whether it's in the D1 or in the D9 chart, Saturn actually have the capacity to create a lot of improvement into your career aspect. Specifically, it's going to create some sort of a pushing factor up there. Now, depending over the horoscope matchmaking and the compatibility analysis, like when we combine both male and female charts together, in order to actually study, okay, what are the results that husband planetary alignments is creating over the wife's life and wife planetary alignments over the husband's life. So we must need to analyze the 8th house along with the 5th house of Navamsha Kundi. Because at the time of matchmaking, if suppose you are having the planet like Shani up there, it's a malefic graha. So it's better for you to look for the match who is having more positive association connected with the 8th house. Otherwise, what is happening, if the both person are having the malefic, suppose one is having Saturn and second is having Mars, Or suppose Saturn is with Rahu and second is having Mars as with Ketu. So the more and the more negative associations which are actually coming in the 8th house, it's actually going to be becoming very tough, very difficult for you to do compromises. So here the compromise part is also very important and very necessary for the survival and the sustenance of a relationship. If you even practically look into the marriage and the married life aspect, it's actually going to be based over the compromise. It's not like that, okay, I'm going to sleep over the complete bed and I'm not going to give you enough space. If you are a husband and wife, so you need to adjust. So that adjusting nature is actually becoming very critical. If both are having the same intensity of grahas in this 8th house. I have done a lot of couple consultations and I've practically seen in many charts actually, where the people fail to adjust according to the partner. It's because of the intensity which is connected with this 8th house. So even if you are looking for the prospect matches, go for the person who is actually having either no planet or some benefics in this house. Also, there is some negative thing which is also connected with this 8th house. If there is 2 or more malefic association connected with the 8th house lord itself in the Navamsha Kundali I'm talking about. Like suppose your 8th house lord, I'm not now talking about the planet in the 8th, okay? 8th house lord of the Navamsha Kundali, if it is forming connection with more than 2 malefics, like 8th house lord is in conjunction with Mars and Ketu, or maybe 8th house lord is in conjunction with Sun and Rahu. And whenever these entities, Rahu and Ketu with the malefics, they actually came into play, then it's going to be a relationship which become very difficult for you to sustain. Initially, it also becoming very, very difficult for you to actually recognize from where the problems might going to be coming, but it's actually going to be sudden problem. Like suddenly the other person don't want to live with you. Suddenly, and this is that sudden jerk you can consider, or this is also the sudden setback that can also be seen through these houses. Any sudden events that are happening from relationship and the marriage perspective. Even during the rituals of a marriage, like when the 2 persons are actually getting married. So in our Vedic tradition, Hindu tradition, we organize a ritualistic ceremony in which we organize a Havna. Okay, Havna mean Yajna. So both bride and groom, they need to take 7 rounds around that fire court. This is that Yajna, okay, Yajna. Now, if you are having the malefics in the 8th house, it represents during that time frame, like when that Yajna or that Havna is going to be actually organized, there is going to be some major like natural calamities or something connected with the nature. It may be sudden wind is blowing, it may be lot of water, it may be sudden deaths that have also happened inside the family. But some negative events or some negative forces are actually going to be colliding together. Although this thing is 100% correct if the 12th house lord of the D-9 is actually forming the connection with 8th house or the 8th house lord in the Navamsha Kundali. Because 12th house in the D-9 is the priest actually. So when you are going to be performing the rituals of your own marriage, so if you are having like some malefic energies surrounding this 8th house, it may be 8th house lord with malefics or the Saturn is like up there, it shows certain major or minor things. It may be some fight that have happened immediately inside the family. Like suppose tomorrow is your wedding, like you want to get married tomorrow, and just right now there is some major fighting happening inside the family. Because it shows some heavy karmas that is not only connected between you or your partner, it's the family related karmas, which you can also study while looking into this house actually. You also here, I request you to go into the more advanced level and pay more attention towards the planet that are actually becoming the Matrikarka and the Pitrikarka. These are the Gemini Karkas, planet holding the 4th and 5th highest degree. And try to study their placement into the Navamsha Kundali. This will also help you to actually identify the role of the in-laws, role of parents that are actually going to be playing in the 8th house, because most of the time your marriage is also going to be reshaped by the outer circumstances, like specifically from the family angle. If you watch my money and wealth playlist series, in every video I put a lot of great emphasis and the stress over the 2nd and 8th axis in the D1 chart, because this is that axis, like when we are even analyzing the same axis in the D9 chart also. So it's not like that we are solely studying the results of Shani Graha placement in it. It may be Mercury and Venus from the 2nd house is aspecting this Shani Graha. It also sometime possible your Saturn is in conjunction maybe with Mars, maybe with Sun, then aspected by 2 benefic. So in order for you to actually understand the detailed results, I request you to take into consideration this axis rather than solely relying over the results. Same thing applicable to your D1 chart as well. Whenever you are trying to study your 2nd house for family, money, wealth, savings, 8th house for your sudden transformations, anything, sudden events, I request you to take both of these axes into consideration rather than just looking into the house placement. Even after certain duration, specifically after maturity, like after the age of 36 and 38 and onward, the Saturn is going to be like that, where this will say mind your own business, because these people then tend to become more self-centered also. And the self-centeredness of Saturn, which is coming in the 8th house, is basically coming of financial stability and security, because malefics tend to take, or like they tend to take the financial journeys very seriously, whereas the person with the benefic in the 8th house might not be able to take their financial journey too seriously. Saturn is that structured graha. So if it is in the Libra, Taurus, or maybe Mercurian energy, even in the Jupiterian energy, so it's like that they need to give vision in the marriage, or they need to plan for next 20 years ahead. Even like God knows what is going to be happening the next day. Like, okay, it's not in our hand to go for even 5 years or 10 years, but this is that vision orientedness. And that is the power of this Shani. If you are having this Saturn in the 8th house, irrespective, as I initially told you, irrespective of setbacks or any sort of transformation, this in the longer duration of the time is actually going to be played out in the most positive and the constructive way into your life. So I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations, you can please contact me at my email ID. Any marriage, career, spiritual, business consultation, so do let me know. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Also make sure to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you really enjoyed this video. You can also send me super thanks if you want to make some contribution towards this wonderful work of Vedic Astrology. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.